welcome to our session on the critical role of financial wellness in protecting ourselves against fraud. So today we're going to dive into how a strong foundation in financial literacy not only aids us, it's going to aid us in achieving our financial goals, but also is going to serve as an additional line of defense against scams and financial fraud. So with that being said, first thing that we want to talk about, and that is understanding financial wellness. So the definition of financial wellness, it refers to the overall state of an individual's financial health and well-being. So it encompasses various aspects of financial stability, security, and satisfaction, including the ability to effectively manage finances, make informed financial decisions, and achieve financial goals. So that is, this is going to be the foundation. This is the whole, concept, the whole base of this, of being, informed and when it comes to your finances. So with that being said, what are some of the main components that make up financial wellness? So let's take a closer look into the different components that contribute to an individual's overall financial health and stability. The components include the first one, which is financial literacy, having a basic understanding of a financial concept such as budgeting, savings, investing, debt management, and retirement planning is essential for making informed financial decisions and achieving long-term financial goals. Number two, budgeting and financial planning. So creating and following a budget helps individuals manage their income and expenses. Also is going to help you prioritize your spending and achieve financial goals. So financial planning involves setting short-term and long-term financial objectives and developing strategies to achieve them. That's the whole base of budgeting and planning. Next one, savings and emergency funds. So building and maintaining savings, including emergency funds, is going to provide a financial safety net to cover unexpected expenses such as medical emergencies, car repairs, loss of income, without having to rely on your credit cards or applying for any loans. So very important. Also, investing in the future. Investing is an asset such as investing in assets such as stocks, bonds, mutual funds, real estate, and retirement accounts is going to allow the individual to grow their wealth over time and prepare you for the future, especially if you're thinking about retirement or any education expenses. Going down the list here, we have debt management. So debt management, you're going to effectively managing your debt, including any credit cards, student loans, mortgages, and any other loan that involves making monthly payments. Avoiding excessive debt accumulation and implementing strategies to pay down your debt effectively. Moving down, insurance protection. So having an adequate insurance coverages, including health insurance, life insurance, disability, and property insurance, protects individuals and their families from financial losses due to unexpected events, accidents, or illness. Also, retirement planning. So planning for retirement involves estimating future expenses, determining retirement expenses, and also setting savings goals and establishing retirement accounts such as your 401k, IRAs, or pension plans to ensure a comfortable and financially secure retirement. And if you take a look at the next one, it's going to be estate planning. So estate planning involves creating legal documents such as wills, trusts, and power of attorneys to protect assets, designate beneficiaries, and ensure that individuals' wishes are carried out in the event of death or incapacitation. Also, financial health monitoring, regular keeping track of all your accounts, credit reports, and investment portfolios is going to help the individual track their progress towards financial goals, identify areas for improvements, and detect and address any fraudulent activity or discrepancies. And also again, last but not least, the financial well-being mindset. So adopting a positive mindset and healthy attitudes towards money, such as practicing gratitude, living within means, avoiding comparing oneself to others, and prioritizing experiences and relationships over material possessions. So this is going to contribute to the overall financial well-being and happiness. So by addressing all of these components of financial wellness and striving to achieve balance and stability in every area, an individual can enhance their overall financial health, reduce financial stress, and achieve greater financial security and freedom. So these are going to be the main components of financial wellness. Now, if we take a look at the this next slide, so this is going to be the financial literacy, a shield against fraud. So the link between financial wellness and fraud prevention, believe it or not, these are interconnected in the sense that individuals who are financially well informed and stable are often better equipped to protect themselves from various types of fraud. Uh, here are several key ways in which financial literacy contributes to fraud prevention. So we're going to go down the list, and the first one is going to be understanding of a financial products and services is going to provide the financial literacy that is going to help the individual understand the various financial products and services available to them, including their benefits and risk. So this understanding enables individuals to make informed decisions and recognize offers that may be too good to be true, which is, if any of you know, if you see something that is too good to be true, that's going to be your first red flag for something to keep an eye out. Number two, the awareness of common scams. So financial education often includes information on common scams and fraudulent schemes. By being aware of this type of scams, individuals can recognize the red flags and avoid falling victims to them. So this includes everything from phishing emails, asking for personal banking information, and again, going back to what I said, whenever you receive information that is too good to be true, investment type of opportunities, those are the things that you want to keep an eye out for. Number three is the safe online behavior. So in today's digital age, much financial fraud happens online. Financial literacy can teach us safe online behavior, such as not sharing personal information over unsecure website. If you all remember the example that we're giving you all, whenever you go online, always look for the website that starts with a HTTPS. That's going to be a sign that that site is secure, versus just clicking on a website that is just that only has the HTTP, most likely not secure. So being cautious whenever you are browsing the web, and also when you receive emails from unknown senders, that's something that you have to keep an eye out for. Number four is going to be the critical thinking skills. So financial literacy encourages critical thinking about financial decisions. So this skill is invaluable when evaluating the legitimacy of financial offers, investments, or opportunities. Individuals who can critically assess information are less likely to be misled by the criminals. Number five is going to be knowing when and how to report fraud. So the more information you know, the better it's going to prepare you to recognize any potential fraud. But it also is going to give you the understanding of the importance of reporting the event to the appropriate authorities. So this is not only going to help you in potentially reduce the amount of money that you lose, but it also could help you can help others preventing fraud as well too if you're going through this situation. And number six and last one here is going to be personal information security. So financial literacy teaches us the importance of securing personal and financial information such as social security numbers, bank account details, and credit card information. So this knowledge is vital in preventing identity theft, and obviously, it's something that the criminals hope that you don't know so that you are an easier target for them. So be very, very, very careful. So always, have your guard on high alert because you just never know. The criminals nowadays are getting more and more savvy with the different strategies that they're implementing. And oftentimes, they make it a lot harder for you to steer you away from thinking that it's something legitimate, and it might make you fall and become a victim of their scheme. And with that being said, what are some of the scams that we want you to watch out for? We have listed here some of the most popular scams. And again, there's so many different forms. Every scam here is designed to deceive the individual and trick them into providing sensitive information, so that they can get a hold of your money, your identity, you name it. So from phishing, to them impersonating legitimate organizations. I mean, you name it. It truly something that you want to keep an eye out for. And with that being said, I'm going to go down the list here, because these are the most common type of scams that we are seeing, especially in the financial industry. And the number one, believe it or not, phishing. So phishing, we had talked about this in many of our previous webinars. But for those that don't know, phishing, it's the scam where the criminal is posing as a legitimate entity, such as a bank, government agency, or trusted organization to trick the individual to providing sensitive information such as a username, passwords, credit card numbers, or social security numbers. So, and these scams often happen through email or text messages or even fake websites. So definitely you want to be extremely careful. Also with that, identity theft. So again, this is a clear example when a criminal gets a hold of your personal information, such as your social security number, your date of birth, or any financial account details, and uses it to commit fraudulent activities under your name, such as opening unauthorized accounts, applying for a loan or credit cards, or get this one, filing fraudulent tax returns. Right now, this is tax season. And we have seen multiple cases of people, going in and trying to file the taxes, but they get an error message from the IRS saying, "Hey, we already processed your taxes. There must be something going on." So again, be extremely careful when it comes to that. Also, number three here is the tech support scam. Tech support scams involve the criminal pretending to be technical support representatives from the legitimate computer companies such as, Dell, Apple, or even from software companies to gain access to the victim's computer, or trick them into paying for unnecessary services or softwares that you don't need. So be extremely careful. Number four, and this was something that hits close to me because I have helped multiple victims, and this is one of the hardest one to handle, in my opinion, which is the romance scams. So this happens when the criminal creates a fake online profile on dating websites or social media platforms to establish romantic relationships with the unsuspecting individual, often with the intention of exploiting them for money or financial gain. This one is a tough one. And the reason why I say that is because I've been in the banking industry for 17 years now, and and this is a real experience that I went through. I had a member about 5 years ago that came to me, and he wanted to send $15,000 to Thailand to his girlfriend. And I started asking questions as to why do we need to send that high amount? And he just kept on telling me that his girlfriend really needed the money, that she had somebody had a severe medical illness that they needed to treat right away. And I did my best to help the member from sending the wire. Long story short, I did not send the wire for him on that day, but I happened to work in an institution where there were multiple offices, and he ended up going to a different location. And long story short, the wire went out, and about 6 months after, he came back to us and he told us that this person had pretty much, stole almost all of his money. He has sent close to $80,000 to someone that wasn't even real. So it really, really is a tough one, especially if the person is falling in love for the criminal, and it's such an easy target, and it truly, truly hurts. When you see somebody going through that situation, because there's so much involved in that, and it truly, truly makes it very, very, very complicated to deal with. But again, be very mindful and be very careful of situations like that, because believe it or not, those type of scams are on the rise, and you need to be extremely, extremely careful. Um, Going down the list here, number 5, the lottery or the sweepstakes scams. So this one is when the scams, they're informing the victims that they won a prize, such as a lottery jackpot or a sweepstakes drawing, but it requires them to pay an upfront fee or taxes to claim their winnings. In reality, there's no prize, and the victim ends up losing money to the scammer. So be very careful. If somebody tells you, "Hey, you won this amount of money, but in order for us to send you the money, you need to pay the taxes upfront," then ask yourself, one, did you enroll in a sweepstakes, or did you partake in any lottery drawing or anything like that? And two, no one will charge you, make you pay for taxes over the phone before they can disperse any funds. So be extremely careful if that's something that somebody approaches you with. Number 6 is the advance fee scam. This one, we see it pretty much is when the criminal is requesting an upfront payment for fees in exchange for promised goods, services, or financial benefits, such as a loan, grant, or even job opportunities. Once the victim pays for the fee, the scammer disappears without delivering on their promises. Or another case that we have seen, and especially this is for anyone here in this call, if you own a business or you provide any services, we've seen cases where the criminal will send a check, a personal check to the person, and the agreement of the amount that you agree with that particular person, it's in a specific amount, but the check that you receive is for a greater amount, and they ask you to cash a check for them and send in the remaining via Western Union or one of those places where you can electronically send money. And long story short, what happens within a couple of months, that check that you deposited into your account turns out to be stolen, or it's bad, and now you are going to be on the hook for one, paying back the bank for the amount of money that you withdraw from your account, and two, for all of the mess that was created as a result. So be extremely, extremely careful. If anyone is asking you for an advance fee, or if they're giving you a check with a greater amount that was promised on the deal that you made, especially for those against that are business owners. So be extremely, extremely careful. Number 7, impersonating scams. So impersonation scams, I'm sorry, involves the criminals posing as trusted individuals or authorities, such as government officials, law enforcement officers, or utility companies, to deceive victims into paying fake fines, fees, or bills, or providing sensitive information. Be very, very careful with that. 8, debt relief or credit repair scams. Oh man, this one hurts too, because we see it too. We do see that one. So these are the companies that they claim that they're gonna repair your credit. They're gonna promise the individual that they're gonna eliminate all their debt, improve the credit scores, or negotiate with the creditors, often charging high fees for services that provide little or no benefit. The victims might end up in a worse financial situation than before. So again, be very, very careful. Number 9 is going to be the account takeover. So unauthorized access and control of financial accounts to make unauthorized transactions. or charges on your account. So be extremely careful. So again, as a protective measure, always be skeptical of unsolicited requests. Do your research, and always, we always tell our members, always be on high alert, be very vigilant to avoid any scams, because trust me, the criminals are out there, and they, as I stated, they're getting more and more savvy. And this next slide that I'm getting ready to move on to is the one that is pretty much has everyone on high alert, because we know we now live in a digital age where people are getting so much advanced with technology, and artificial intelligence is the rising threat. Um, and I can't begin to tell you everything that we're seeing. It's a scary. It's a scary, but that's the reason why we are doing this webinar for all of our members here, because we want to inform you of everything that's going on out there, and we want you to be very, very mindful and be on alert always, because as I stated, criminals are looking for ways to make an easy buck, get control of your finances, steal your identity, you name it. They're out there to do no good to you. So and as I stated, so this is artificial intelligence. It's becoming the biggest headache in the recent times. So they're utilizing technology to defraud individuals and organizations for financial gain. Um, and there's so many deceptive tactics. Some of them, I'm going to go down the list here, and this is just to name a few. We are very confident there are a lot of other tactics out there that they're implementing, but these are the ones that are most popular that we seen. The first one, the chatbot scams. This is where the criminal uses AI to engage the victim through messaging platforms or websites, I'm sorry, posing as customer service agents, or sales representative. And this particular programs, they are created to mimic human conversations and may attempt to trick victims into providing sensitive information or making fraudulent purchases. You might think that you are actually interacting with a real human being, but guess what? It's not. It's a software on the other end, and they're trying to find every single find an opportunity for them to commit fraud. So be very, very careful. Number two, deep fake scams. So again, this one they use AI algorithms to create realistic but fake audio, video, or images of individuals. So the criminals are using the deepfake technology to impersonate trusted individuals, such as company executives or government officials, to deceive victims into transferring funds, sharing sensitive information, or engaging in any other fraudulent activity. So be very, very, very careful. Number three, and this is the AI-powered email spoofing. So again, technology that's being used to create convincing emails that appears to come from legitimate sources such as banks, government agencies, or business partners. And these emails may contain malicious links or attachments designed to install malware or steal your login credentials or trick the victims into transferring money to fraudulent accounts. So be very, very, very careful. Number four, voice cloning scams. So this one, and again, the more I get into this, the more scary it gets and it sounds, because believe it or not, criminals are using artificial intelligence to replicate a person's voice, allowing the criminal to impersonate anyone over the phone or in voice messages. So criminals use the voice cloning to impersonate anyone, including company executives, trusted contacts, and their goal is to trick the victim into authorizing fraudulent transactions or disclose any sensitive information that you think that you are giving it to someone that you trust. And so be very, 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 very careful. Number five is the power investment scams. So this is some investment scams that they use an AI algorithms. I'm sorry, to generate fake investment reports, market predictions, or trading signals that appear legitimate, but they're designed to deceive investors. These scams may promise high returns or guarantee profits, but ultimately results in financial losses for the victims. So be very careful if you're, if especially if you are into in investing and you always looking to get reports and see how's the market doing, what are the trends, and then what are some of the opportunities that you might want to put your money in. Be very careful that you are getting the information from trusted resources or trusted sources. I mean, before you put your money into any of those markets. Number six is going to be the fake content. So again, criminals are using fake news articles, reviews, or social media posts that promote fraudulent products or services to manipulate the public. Again, and all for financial gain. So this fake content campaigns may be used to promote investment, uh, fake investment, I'm sorry, fake endorsements, or any other fraudulent schemes. We have seen this, and actually, believe it or not, some of the targets that they're going after are going after celebrities. They are impersonating them. They're using the voice cloning and the deepfake scam all put together and creating the content and they're promoting different campaigns and that it's being endorsed by somebody that you trust because you see on TV, and they use their voice, but you better believe that that is, if it's something it's too good to be true, it isn't. So be very careful. And again, they are using high celebrities or people in high government positions to make you believe that it's actually in fact them endorsing different products and services, and you don't want to do that. You want to be very careful. And I know social media platforms are not helping, and oftentimes we see a lot of the ads being run through those some of those channels. So be very, very, very careful. And number seven, and the last one here, and on the list for the AI rising threats, we have the enhanced social engineering. As if social engineering wasn't already a headache, but now that you incorporate AI to it, it makes it even more hard to get rid of. And in essence, what they're doing is they're using this method to manipulate the individuals and to provide them confidential information or taking actions that compromise their security. So AI technology enhances social engineering attacks by analyzing larger data sets, I'm sorry, to personalize and tailor scam messages, making them more convincing and harder to detect. So with that being said, all of this type of AI scams that we highlighted are evolving in a way that we didn't think it was going to be possible. But again, as I stated before, the criminals, they are always looking for ways to do harm, and they're getting more and more creative. So we want you to be always on high alert, be very vigilant, protect yourself and your loved ones for any of these emerging threats. So it is crucial to be cautious of unsolicited communications, verify the authenticity of messages or requests, and use security measures such as multi-factor authentication and anti-phishing tools to mitigate the risk of falling victims to AI scams. So again, this one is, in my opinion, this is pretty much where everything is heading, and we are going to continue to see more and more cases of fraud coming resulting from AI, and just because it's getting to a point that it looks so authentic, so real, but then again, it's not. So be extremely careful. Now, with that being said, um, recognizing red flags and warning signs of potential scams or fraudulent activities is essential for protecting yourself from financial harm. So here are some of the common red flags to watch out for. The first one, it's unsolicited requests. Be very careful. If you didn't request anything, why are you getting that? If something is too good to be true, um, again, ask yourself, be cautious, and have a little bit of skepticism built to it. You know, really, is this really real? That you want that they want to make you fall for it. Um, Number three, urgency or pressure. Scammers are often creating a sense of urgency or pressure into manipulating the victims into making a hasty decision without thinking critically. So be very cautious of the demands for immediate action or threats of negative consequences if you don't comply. The best example that I can think of when I talk about this is the typical IRS scam that you get somebody calling you and they're telling you that they are from the IRS. It's an IRS officer, and they want you to make a payment over the phone right away. And if you don't, they have the police department or the sheriff's office on the line, and they're gonna come. They're gonna be deployed to your house and arrest you because you owe taxes. So if you ever get something like that, please just hang up. Do not answer those calls. Block the number. And just leave it alone and report it to the local authorities. That would be a good action to take if you see something like that. Number four, request for payment or fees. So be very cautious of any request for upfront payments, fees, or taxes to claim a prize. Again, as I stated in one of the previous slides, if somebody tells you that you won the lottery, but in order for you to claim the lottery, you need to send them a payment before you do so, stop and don't do it. Um, always be very, very cautious. Number five, unusual payment methods. So if somebody is calling you and they're telling you that they're calling from, I'm giving you a quick example here. If they say they're from your utility bill company, and they need you to make a payment right away, but they want you to pay them using a gift card. Again, think about it. Do you really think that your utility bill company is gonna want a payment in the form of a gift card or ask you to send cryptocurrency? Those are some of the common type of red flags that you want to watch out for. Number six, any unsolicited remote access. So be very mindful whenever you receive any remote access request on your computer or your devices, especially if they claim to be from technical support or any IT representative. Legitimate companies typically they don't initiate contact in this manner. Normally, you call them and then you tell them what's going on with your computer, and then once you describe the problem, then they will then follow back and ask you if it's okay for them to remote into your computer and try to see if they can troubleshoot whatever issue you have going on. So if you receive a call and right away they want you to give them access and grant access for them to remotely go into your computer, stop, hang up, do not answer those calls. Number seven, unexpected changes. So be alert for any unexpected changes in your account statements, bills, or financial documents, as well as unauthorized transactions or charges. It is important that you are always checking your statements at least on a monthly basis and report any discrepancies or suspicious activity as soon as you find them. Do not wait. Report them immediately. Number eight, poor communication or documentation. Be suspicious of communications or documentation that contains spelling or grammatical errors, inconsistent information, or lacks official branding or contact information. Legitimate business typically maintain professional standards in their communication. So that would be a big red flag if you see something coming through in the form of an email or a text message or even a letter that might be sent to your house. Number nine, lack of transparency or disclosure. So be wary of entities that are reluctant to provide a clear and transparent information about their products, services, or business practices. Legitimate businesses typically operate with transparency and are willing to address questions or concern. So by being aware of these red flags and warning signs, you can better protect yourself from falling victims to scams or fraudulent activities. It is important that you trust your instincts, ask questions, and verify the legitimacy of offers or requests before taking any action. If you suspect fraud or encounter any suspicious activity, report it to the appropriate authorities right away. Do not wait. Do it immediately. Now, with that being said, what are some of the practical steps that you want to take? So, fraud prevention are essential in safeguarding yourself from all the different types of scams that we just talked about. So to start, staying informed about common fraud practices and staying updated on the latest trends is crucial for recognizing potential threats. Also, protect your personal information. Always safeguard all your financial information. Avoid sharing any sensitive details such as social security number, bank account numbers, or passwords unless it's necessary and you trust the sources. Also, for those that have online accounts, make sure that you use strong passwords. Um, Unique also. Do not just make it just a random password. Make sure that the password you're creating is unique. Use a combination of letters and numbers and special characters, and avoid using easy guessable information. And most important, change those passwords at least every 45 days. I know it can become a headache, but trust me, it could help you prevent a bigger headache down the road. Next one, secure your devices. So keep all your devices, including computers, smartphones, tablets, secure with up-to-date antivirus software and security patches. So whenever you get those alerts that there's an update available, make sure that you are updating your phones as often as you receive those requests to update, make an update on your devices. Also, be very, very, very careful when you are connecting to public Wi-Fi networks, I'm sorry, and avoid accessing any sensitive information on unsecure networks. Next, verify sources. Verify the sources, the website that you are going into, any emails or phone calls and messages. Make sure that they're legitimate before you provide any personal or financial information. Be careful of unsolicited requests for information or offers that seems too good to be true. Probably gonna get tired of saying that, but again, if something is too good to be true, it isn't. Next, keeping track of your financial accounts. As I stated before, check your statements often. Do not go an extended period of time without looking at your bank statements, your credit card bills, any your credit reports. Make sure that you are looking carefully and report any unauthorized transactions or suspicious activity. And then obviously, we're going to provide you with some of the resources as to where you want to report those. But again, it is important that you report and you take action right away. As soon as you find something that doesn't that was not initiated by you, you need to report it right away. Also, shred documents. Any documents that has any of your personal information, you want to shred that. You do not want to just throw it in the regular trash. Be very, very careful with that. And it's important to also be skeptical. Be cautious of unsolicited offers, requests for payments or personal information, and high pressure sales tactics. Trust your instincts and don't hesitate to verify information or seek advice from trusted resources. Continue down the list is report suspected fraud. So again, if you suspect fraud or have fallen victim to a scam, report it to the appropriate authorities, such as your bank, the credit card company, definitely the FTC, the Federal Trade Commission, or your local law enforcement. So reporting this as soon as you realize that you have become a victim is going to be very important to protect you and others from falling victims of the same scam. And last but not least, which I think, in my opinion, this is going to be the most important one, is going to be educate others. So share your knowledge and experiences with friends, family, and community members to raise awareness, I'm sorry, about fraud prevention and encourage others to stay vigilant and take proactive steps to protect themselves from fraud and scams. This is very important. I think together, we here at the United States Federal Credit Union, we have a saying that we are better together, and this is goes hand in hand. Fraud prevention. If you're sharing, educating others about what's happening, you're doing a good deed. So please, please, please make sure that you are always sharing your knowledge and experience with everyone, especially your loved ones. You don't want them to become victims of this type of scams that we have been talking about. Um, with that being said, we want you to add additional layers of protections to yourself. So incorporating behavioral strategies can be instrumental in protecting yourself from becoming a victim of financial fraud. Here are some of the ways to apply these behavioral principles, I'm sorry, to enhance your fraud prevention. So the first one, as I stated before, educate yourself, increase awareness of common fraud tactics, and psychological manipulation techniques used by scammers. Stay informed about the latest fraud trends and warning signs to recognize potential scams. Also, trust your gut. If listen to yourself. If you have an instinct or an intuition that something feels off, or again too good to be true, again, listen to yourself. Listen to your gut feeling. If that is the case. And again, be skeptical. Adopt a healthy level of skepticism and question unexpected requests for personal or financial information, any unsolicited offers or high pressure sales tactics. Verify that is in fact some legitimate request, and do your research before you take any action. Obviously, you want to practice caution online. This is again, well, I was just talking about AI and how we are seeing so many different, racing threats with AI. So if you're online, be very, very, very careful whenever you're sharing any personal or financial information online. Avoid clicking on links or downloading attachments from unknown or untrusted sources. Use secure password, enable two-factor authentication, and keep your devices and software up to date to reduce the risk of cyber fraud. Also, you want to set boundaries, establish clear boundaries and limitations for sharing sensitive information or making financial transactions. Be very careful of the type of requests that require immediate action or demands for secrecy. These normally those type of tactics are used by the scammers to pressure the victims into making a rash decision. So again, be very careful. Also, seek confirmation. Verify the identity and legitimacy of individuals or organizations before providing sensitive information or conducting any financial transaction. So use financial official contact information, I'm sorry, obtained from the trusted sources to reach out and confirm that the request that you're getting is valid. Also, you want to keep track of all your accounts, as I stated in the previous slide. Always keep track of all your statements. Do not leave those. Don't disregard those. You want to make sure that you're keeping up with anything and looking for any suspicious activity. And if there's anything there, please report it right away. And also seek support. Don't hesitate to seek assistance from trusted friends, family members, or financial professionals if you are unsure about um, a financial decision or suspect any fraud activity that might be happening. So getting a second opinion can provide a valuable perspective and help you avoid um, falling victim to a scam. And last but not least, stay calm and collected. In situations where you are going to be facing unexpected requests or urgent demands, remain calm and composed. Take time to assess the situation, gather all the information, and consult with trusted advisors before making any decision, especially if they are money related that you need to send a payment immediately. Please, make sure that you're seeking support and you're staying calm and collected before you make any decision that could result in a huge loss for yourself. So By incorporating this behavioral strategies into your daily routines and financial practices, you can strengthen your defenses against financial fraud and minimize the risk of becoming a victim. You don't want to become a victim. So trust your instinct, stay informed, and exercise caution. Caution are key to safeguarding your financial well-being and increase um, in an increasingly complex and digital world that we're now facing. So be very, 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 very careful. With that being said, we want to talk a little bit about the types of identity protection services and what are some of these key features. I'm sure you all are seeing multiple companies that advertise this type of protection services, and they're great. Trust me, they are great. It's a service that in most cases they're going to be subscription based, and they're designed to help the individuals safeguard their personal information and protect themselves against identity theft and fraud. So this service typically offer a range of features. So you want to look and see, what is it specifically that you're looking for. We have a list here of what are some of those common services that they provide, such as identity monitoring, fraud alerts, credit, identity theft insurance, restoration assistant, dark web tracking, social security monitoring, data breach notification, and resolution support. This is just a couple of the services that there are multiple companies out there that they provide this type of service. So with that being said, we want you to, if you are going to rely on that, we want you to make sure that you are choosing the right protection. So identity protection service, again, it's important, and it's very, it's something that you might want to consider, especially, where we are nowadays with all of the different threats that we are now facing. So if you're somebody that is thinking about, looking into those subscription-based type of services, make sure that you are selecting the right prevention service for yourself. It is crucial to consider several key factors. I'm sorry. Whenever you're choosing, any of those companies. So the first one here that we want you to do, it's when, and especially if you're thinking about choosing one of those companies, is that you want to look at the reputation and reliability. So research the reputation and reliability of the service provider. Look for reviews, any testimonials and ratings from other customers or business who have used the service. So make sure that if you're signing up for one of those services, that it is a reputable provider with a track record, and it is delivering effective fraud prevention solution. Also, make sure that they provide the features and capabilities. Evaluate the features and capabilities that they offer. Determine whether the service provides the specific fraud prevention measures that you need. Again, everyone is different, so you might not need the same as your neighbor. So be very mindful when you are selecting, making that decision, that you do your due diligence when it comes to that. Also, the cost and pricing structure. So consider the cost and pricing whenever you're selecting those services. So you want to compare the pricing plan, the type of subscription fees that they have, and any additional costs or fees associated with the service that you're choosing. So be very, very mindful of that. Also, number 4, ease of use. Assess the ease of use and the user experience of the service that they provide. Look for services that is user-friendly and intuitive, with easy to understand features and interfaces. So you definitely want to make sure that when you're selecting a company, that it's something that you can easily navigate online, or through your mobile device. So consider whether the service that they offer customer support or assistance with setup and implementation. Number 5, customization and flexibility. Determine whether the service I'm sorry, can be customized to meet your specific needs and requirements. Look for flexibility in features, and also with the configurations, to make sure that it's tailored to the service that are unique to you, and it's something that you're looking for. Number 6, security and compliance. verify the security measures and compliance standards implemented by the service provider, ensure that the service follows the industry best practices for data security, privacy protection, and regulatory compliance, specifically if handling sensitive information. So you want to make sure the business, the company that you choose is somebody that you can trust. Number 7, the customer support and service level agreements, also known as the SLAs, evaluate the level of customer support provided by the service provider. Look for the service level, the specified response times, resolution times, and availability guarantees. So choose a provider that offers a responsive and reliable customer support to address any issues or concerns. And number 8, trial period or demo. So whenever possible, take advantage of any trial periods or demos offered by the service provider. Test the service firsthand to assess how effective it is, and if it is compatible with your needs before you make a commitment. So again, be careful whenever you're weighing all of those factors, so that make sure that you are confident before you make the selection, as the company that you want to choose to help you with any fraud prevention, that is going to safeguard your interests in an effective manner. So again, definitely something to keep in mind whenever choosing one of those companies. With that being said, do want to give you all some more additional resources that are reputable. This platforms here, they offer a wealth of information and education materials to empower you in recognizing and preventing and combating financial fraud. I just want to name a few. The FTC.gov is definitely one of there's a reason why we put it on the top. And also the consumerfinance.gov, just to name a few. We're going to send this presentation to everyone that attended this webinar, so be on the lookup. We will send so you have all the links that are provided on this presentation. And with that being said, as I stated at the beginning, we decided to make this presentation a little more fun. And our very own Carrie Lazar put together a quiz for us here. So and it's an easy one. We want you to name the scam, I'm sorry. And it's the fraud prevention game. So Carrie, you want to take it away? You're muted, Carrie.
Thank you. So I don't know how many times a day I do that. So I'll keep it quick because I know we're at the end of time. We won't use the functionality, the polls or anything. I'll read the question and just throw it in the chat box. I think there's only 4 questions and then we'll wrap it up. So you want to go to the next slide?
All right, here we go.
All right. So which of the following is not a common characteristic of a phishing email? A sense of urgency to act. B, a detailed explanation of why the information is needed. C, misspellings and grammatical errors. D, links to a website asking for personal information. So A, B, C, or D, throw it in the chat.
I see a little B's on the chat.
Well,
B,
for
B, B,
good
B.
reason.
I'll be
B. So most likely a phishing email won't tell you the reason behind, they're vague, well, in some points, but they won't say, hey, we need this information because XYZ, you're delinquent or, tax, whatever the case may be. You're not going to find an explanation there, most likely. All right, so next, loan scams. So what is a red flag for loan scams, or a definite red flag for a loan scam is when the lender A, offers competitive interest rates, B, requires a credit check before offering a loan, C, asks for payment up front before dispersing the loan, D, has a physical office location.
C's.
We see all C's.
C's. Yep.
Yep, C's.
That's
There's
So
an A. There's one A.
A offers good. Well, that could be. Actually, that actually could be the answer. The answer we used is B, but number A goes with the too good to be true offer. So I could see why that answer would, be submitted. So C asks for payment up front, which why would, if you're borrowing money, who pays to borrow? Before borrowing, you pay during and after, but okay. So Wi-Fi eavesdropping. When using public Wi-Fi, which of the following actions is safest to avoid? Sorry, I was reading one of the comments about the FAFSA. Is safest to avoid becoming a victim of fraud? A, sending sensitive emails. B, logging into your online banking account. C, making online purchases. D, none of the above. So when you're using public Wi-Fi, which of the following actions is safest?
We got a D and we got D's and B's so far.
So D, none of them are safe. So when you're using a public network or at the airport or connecting your phone to free Wi-Fi, don't open any banking apps, don't enter personal information or addresses. Hackers can get in, you don't even know it, and they're watching the network, everything you type in. So good job. I think just one more. Z, all of them, yes. In a ransomware attack, what do the attackers typically demand from their victims? A written apology, a form of cryptocurrency, social security number, or a promise not to repeat the same mistake. So ransomware attack, usually, I don't want to send the answer too early. This is D, correct. A form of cryptocurrency. So, those are the attacks where they type into a pop-up comes on your computer and so a written apology. But B, or is, they want to deal in cryptocurrency. So that was kind of it. The reason for the quiz is, I read somewhere that repeated exposure, so actually from the Financial Industry Regulatory Authority has research that says, repeated exposure to fraud education like this decreases your chances by 80% of falling for a scam. And then if somebody does fall for a scam from that 20% left over, they're 40% less likely to lose money. So some of the things may sound redundant, but education, awareness, worth it in the end. So thank you guys.
Thank you so much.
That was it. You are.
Thank you, Gary. Thank you, Andrea.
Thank you, Vanna.
We do have a question.
We are coming down to the end of the presentation. We got one more slide here, but so we just want to do a quick recap here of the crucial role of financial literacy in fraud prevention. Again, as Eddie, Carrie was just talking about in the previously, knowledge is power. You make sure you're always staying informed. Keep up with all the trends, especially with all those different fraud scams that are happening. Also, you want to secure your have a secure financial practices. Make sure that you have a plan in place especially if you're dealing with your finances. Also critical assessment skills. This is very important in valuing personal information and proactive fraud defense. The more informed, the better you will be against all of these criminals that are going out there and looking for ways to harm you and your loved ones. So, and your communities too. Again, this is something that is impacting everyone all across the nation. So with that being said, that's going to bring me to the end of my presentation. I really hope that this was helpful. We take We take security and fraud here at the United States Senate Federal Credit Union very serious, and this is one of the reasons why we put this type of webinars and this type of content for all of our members here. So again, thank you, thank you, thank you. At this time, we're gonna go ahead and open it to our traditional section for questions, any Q&A, anything that came through the chat. Carrie and Eddie, Andrea and Eddie, if you want to read some of those questions, and then we'll be more than happy to answer them, either myself or Ken Freely. So thank you all again so much for giving us your attention on this presentation.
Okay, so our first question is, thank you, Milton, for doing the presentation. Thank you so much. And our first question is, what steps do you recommend for resolving an identity theft?
That's an excellent question. And obviously, if you are a victim of identity theft, the first step that you want to take is you want to report it immediately. Contact any of the financial institutions or credit companies that your information has been impacted. Once that happens, you want to go to the FTC and file a report of identity theft. And also reach out to the local authorities so that they are aware of what's happening, and most important, keep track, keep all of the documentation that you're filing, that you're receiving, keep everything in order, and save that with you. This is coming from a person that actually has been a victim of identity theft. I know what it takes to what it takes to get out of it, and it's a long process. But be patient, hang in there. Trust me, there is always light at the end of the tunnel. So, but again, the number one thing I would say is that act immediately and inform everyone where your information has been compromised, and that's going to be the first step into getting back your life, back to under control.
So the next thing is, I got an email today about an app that I have on my phone saying that there's an update. When I went to the App Store, I did not find the update like the email was talking about. There was a quick link in the email to update the app. I did not click on the link. Does this sound like a scam?
It absolutely could be, and you did exactly the right thing by going to your app store, looking to see if there's an actual update that they're recommending that you download. And since you didn't find one, absolutely, it could have been a scam. So you did exactly the right thing.
Thank you so much, Kim. What does the use of VPN do for the computer?
I'll be happy to take that one too. So there are several things that VPN can actually do. When you connect to a VPN, it actually creates an encrypted tunnel between your device and a remote server. So this can actually prevent scammers from seeing your viewing history, can keep you from having identity theft because it actually also hides your IP address. So they can't tell where you're located. It keeps them from being able to steal your identity. So I highly recommend that you just go out and research, VPNs. Why should I use one? There are so many. VPNs are wonderful to have and to use to protect. Now, I'm going to say this, it's not always, it can't protect everything, but it makes it harder for scammers to be able to get your information.
Thank you so much. I think those are all the questions. Eddie, if you could tell me if I'm missing one, but I think that's all the
I do
questions.
see one more on my end. It came directly to me, and anybody on that panelist can answer this, but it says, I visited a United States and a Federal Credit Union branch not too long ago, and the MSR that helped me was telling me that there's a new promotion for new membership for the month of April, and they were telling me that they were gonna give to new members $300. This sounds too good to be true. Is this a scam? So somebody brave answering in the panelists?
Eddie, I don't know about that. My goodness. But you know what? If it's coming from us directly from the source, it is true.
All
We're
right.
excited that we're gonna be rolling out a special promotion for all new members. So if anyone here has any friends or family that are members yet and want to come over to the best credit union in the nation, again voted one of the best places to work for by USA Today. Please send them your way beginning on April 1st, and this is going to run all the way to September 30th. We're going to be giving away $300 for all new members. There's a couple of stipulations that you got to follow, but it's pretty easy. In my opinion, the easiest $300 that you will ever make. And so we definitely want to encourage everyone to come out and spread the word and share all of the great stuff that we're doing here at the credit union. So thank you, Eddie, for mentioning that. And with that being said, I also want to remind everyone, April is also Financial Literacy Month. And so for next webinar next week, we are doing on capability and confidence. So a resourceful journey through financial literacy for the whole month of April. That's going to be the topic for next Wednesday. So we look forward to having you back and joining us on another exciting weekly Wednesday webinar. And unfortunately, you're gonna miss one of our lovely faces here. She works so much and had asked for the week off, and I couldn't say no. And so Miss Kim Freely will be on vacation next week, so we're gonna miss you. But you will be enjoying a well-deserved vacation next week. So
I
um,
promise I'll be back. I'll come back.
she will be back. She's only allowed to go for 1 week, so she needs to be back after that. But with that being said, everyone, thank you, thank you, thank you. We truly enjoy having you with us every Wednesday evening, and we look forward to having you back again next week. You all have a wonderful evening and happy Easter.